Her voice trembled in the crowded cafe. "Sir, please, I'll pay you anything. Just play my husband for 24 hours. The room fell silent. A millionaire woman begging a worn-out single father for help. No one could believe what they were hearing, and yet his answer would melt her heart forever. Before we start today's story, leave a comment below and let us know which city you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate it from 0 to 10. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. The cafe was alive with chatter, but all noise seemed to vanish when she spoke. A wealthy woman, dressed in elegance from head to toe, lowered her voice and pleaded, "Please just pretend to be my husband for one day." Across from her sat a man with tired eyes, his calloused hands wrapped around a chipped coffee mug. He was no stranger to long nights and harder mornings, a single father who carried more weight than most men dared. His silence cut deeper than words, and the crowd who had overheard whispered their judgments. She was a millionaire, known for her coldness and distance. He was a quiet worker, known only to his neighbors, who admired how gently he raised his little girl. Their worlds were never meant to collide, until desperation forced hers into his. His name was Daniel. Years ago he wore a uniform that carried both pride and pain. He had served with honor, watched brothers fall beside him, and returned home. With a limp that spoke louder than medals ever could, his wife had not survived the sickness that came soon after, leaving him with a newborn daughter cradled in his arms. The scent of baby powder, the soft cries at midnight, the loneliness of raising a child alone. These were the sounds and smells that shaped his life. Daniel worked odd jobs, fixing fences, carrying bricks, cleaning floors. His clothes were worn, but his dignity remained unbroken. Every sacrifice he made was for his daughter, his quiet reason to keep moving forward. Her name was Evelyn. She had money, power, and a mansion that looked like a palace. But she also had enemies who doubted her, men who whispered that a woman alone could never hold her fortune. Her board demanded stability. Her rivals demanded proof of strength. And now she needed something money could not buy: trust, respect, and a partner, if only in appearance. Her plea was not born of arrogance, but of fear. She needed a man who carried honor without being bought, a man who could stand beside her without bowing his head. In Daniel, she saw what the world could not: strength that did not shout, dignity that did not sell itself. The cafe air grew heavy. Some laughed quietly, others shook their heads. A millionaire asking a poor single father to be her husband for hire. It sounded like mockery. Yet Daniel did not rise to anger. He simply lifted his gaze, steady and calm. "Some things can't be bought," he finally said. His voice was low, but it cut through the whispers. "I don't need your money, but if this helps protect your dignity, then I'll stand by your side." The room fell silent. His words were not just acceptance, they were a promise. For one day, Daniel walked beside Evelyn. At the gala, men who once sneered now stepped aside. They saw not a hired husband, but a man who carried himself with the quiet weight of battles fought and sacrifices made. He didn't boast. He didn't smile for the cameras. He simply placed a steady hand at her back, stood firm when challenged, and spoke only when truth demanded. Evelyn, for the first time in years, felt safe, not because of wealth, but because of honor. At the end of the night, Evelyn whispered, "You saved me." Daniel shook his head. "I only stood where you needed someone. Respect isn't given by money. It's earned by how you stand when the world tries to push you down." Tears filled her eyes, not of sorrow, but of release. She had been surrounded by wealth, yet starved of respect. In 24 hours, a single father gave her more than fortune ever had: authentic strength. The next morning, Evelyn returned to her mansion, but her heart was changed. She no longer measured worth by wealth. And Daniel returned to his daughter, holding her small hand with pride, knowing he had stood tall without betraying who he was. Respect had been restored. Dignity had won, and for those who watched, the lesson lingered. True strength doesn't need applause, it only needs silence and honor. Where are you watching this story from? Share your thoughts below, and if this touched your heart, subscribe for more stories that honor